Hello and welcome into the Marriott Marquis in New York City. Eli Gehn here as we continue to follow along the journey of Fernando Mendoza making his case and stake and claim to potentially getting a Heisman Trophy award on Saturday night here in the Big Apple. The big thing that we had from Friday here, the conference, was essentially media day. All four finalists, Mendoza, Jeremiah Love, Diego Pavia, Julian Sayin, all getting together this afternoon to meet with the media. Beforehand, they all received a commemorative watch, which is actually very cool, a personalized Heisman watch in agreement with Axia Time. So there have only been a number of commemorative items that have been offered in the past for Heisman Trophy winners. This is just the second year that they've actually had a watch, so it was actually pretty cool looking at that this afternoon. All the guys, again, meeting with the media shortly after that for about half an hour, ranging from a number of different topics to what it means to be here, what it took to get here, the journey to what it actually means for them if they were to hoist that Heisman Trophy on Saturday night. Of course, right now, you look at it, Mendoza is the favorite to be hoisting the thing on Saturday evening after his phenomenal year in his first year with Indiana. He leads the nation in touchdowns accounted for, touchdown passes, and has essentially just taken the IU program to another mark that you didn't know was possible after that stellar season last year. Perfect regular season, takes him to a Big Ten championship, and now here he is. All the spotlight and the eyes are going to be on him once again come Saturday night as he looks to become the first Hoosier to hoist the Heisman Trophy.
I mean, it really doesn't feel real. I know it's cliche to say that, but it is such a special time for my family, the community, and I think it's such a special moment of everybody that has been supporting me and embracing me before anybody knew my name. And it's such a great celebration, great ceremony, and can't wait for the rest of the weekend.
Fernando, I read a story that you and Alberto used to pick mangoes around your neighborhood and would sell them to kind of undercut the grocery stores. How much have you been able to reflect on your journey from going from that now Heisman favorite?
At that time, the mangoes were, I think, $1.50, and we had our mango tree in our backyard. Our grandparents lived in our block, and we had some very nice neighbors who let us pick their mangoes, especially because there's an excess in the summertime. And we would knock door to door and be like, hey, Publix $1.50, we're $1 right here, and no delivery fee. We're right here at your door with a wagon. And I thought it really built within us being uncomfortable, or being comfortable with being uncomfortable. It was just a great bonding moment because there were scary houses, and Alberto's like, you go to this one, you go to that one, and it's such a great moment for us.
Fernando, how are you able to take a step back, enjoy this weekend, but then also stay locked in for the college football playoff in a couple weeks?
I think the schedule works out great. Our game is January 1st in the Rose Bowl, which we're all honored to play in the Rose Bowl. That's a dream, especially as my first 3 years I spent at Cal. Everybody always talks about the Rose Bowl and what a great honor and such a magical place to play. And it's December 13th now, so we do have, although we are preparing for both Oklahoma and Alabama, we have a couple weeks right now. So it's great to enjoy this weekend, celebrate it, soak it all in, and then once it's over, keep our foot on the gas and prepare for those two teams.
Fernando, what message would you send to your younger self, knowing that you're a Heisman finalist now? What would you say to him?
I think if I told my younger self I was a Heisman finalist, he'd probably laugh at me or be like, what, an NCAA? So I think this is appreciate you laughing. I thought it was funny. I think it would be, a great message. It would definitely catch it by surprise, and I think it'd really go back to the stay optimistic, work ethic beats talent, and no matter what, as long as you have good people around you, you can always be elevated to someone that is a Heisman finalist one day.
And have you ever been to New York before?
I actually have. I went when I was 13 years old with my younger brother and my grandfather, Alberto Espino. We went to go see the Macy's Day Parade. We got to see the Jersey Boys the night before. It was a late day, and we actually ended up oversleeping the Macy's Day Parade. And so for the whole reason that we were here, it was kind of ironic that we missed it, but I've always loved New York City. My parents spent time here in the younger years of their life, and what a great honor to be in the Big Apple.
What do you there's talk the Jets need a quarterback, and they could possibly like you. What would you think of living here full time playing for the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, football aside, I love New York City. However, right now I'm focused on celebrating this weekend, and I'm also focused on the rest of the college football playoffs. Hopefully we think we have 3 games left, and that's where all my focus is right now, to be in the present moment and give my full attention to the Indiana Hoosiers.
I know it's a big moment for you personally, but what would it mean to you to be able to win this award for Hoosier Nation, knowing how much they supported you this year?
It would mean the world, because this would be the first time the trophy would be in Bloomington. I believe that if I were to win the award, I would want to keep the trophy in Bloomington because it belongs there. That's what I think as far as everything that Hoosier Nation has done for me. Even if I had the honor and blessing to end up winning it, I think it means so much for the fan base who stuck through the thick and thin to now the Signetti era, and really just to have it there for my teammates, the Hoosier community, and all the alumni.
Fernando, your mom wrote you a letter that Players Tribune put out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been able to read it yet. What did that mean to you, and what does she mean to you?
I read it a couple days ago before it was released, and probably spent an hour. Don't want to get too personal details, but spent an hour, 2 hours reflecting on the letter, and it was one of the most beautiful pieces I've ever read. My mom and I are extremely tight, as she says in the letters. Like, we are buddies for life, and it's such a sentimental piece, and just really shows how much she means to me. I was bawling my eyes out while reading the letter. Had a lot of pauses to read the entire letter, and just the journey that my mom and I have taken throughout this life shows how adaptable we are, and that how we're able to push through anything with optimism.
Fernando, you're a humble kid from Miami. Now you're a Heisman finalist. Let's reflect on this journey because it certainly wasn't easy.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what's up, bro?
What's up?
And second of all, it's been such a great journey, especially being from Miami. Like a previous question, if you were to tell myself, a kid in Miami, struggling with football in the intense Miami football environment, that'd be a Heisman finalist today. Like I said, I'd laugh at that old guy or my older self and tell him I don't think that's true. However, with the Miami community, with Christopher Columbus High School, and everybody else that's there in Miami pushing and supporting me, I've been able to be elevated to this level. So I really can't thank Christopher Columbus High School enough, and all the support I have from Miami.
How would you say you struggled? You said you struggled.
Yeah, I would say that there's growing pains, and I'm really happy that God put those bumps and challenges in my life, whether it was being a 2-star recruit, whether it was COVID cutting the season short, whether it was getting only one scholarship offer. All those struggles, and I put those in quotations because evidently those have been blessings, because they've lit a fire underneath myself in order to make myself work harder and get to the point that I am today. And still have a long way to go. However, I really do thank God for all the bumps and bruises that my family and I have occurred in order to catapult us to this position right here today.
Do you ignore? Have you been able to just not look at any of the draft stuff, the mock drafts? Is it hard to avoid? I mean, you're at the top of a lot of lists.
Yeah, I think naturally a couple of my friends will send me, oh, look how cool this is. However, it was similar to the Heisman Award. Week 4 in Illinois, when it actually became a reality, or they posted, oh, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman frontrunner, or could be one of the Heisman finalists. That was week 4. It was just so far. At that point, I was like, I'm just going to keep on doing it. Hopefully, that's a reality. Hopefully. However, at this point, I'm going to do what's been working for me, keep each game at a time, and especially the college football playoff. You play against great teams, and those have so much to do with draft stock and how people position themselves for the draft. So, but like I said, right now, I'm committed to the Indiana Hoosiers. I want to play the last 3 games, and I want to play my heart on those games.
Fernando, you mentioned family. How much of an effect has your brother had just on your journey and getting you to this point right now?
Yeah, my brother, he's my biggest confidant, and he's the one I trust most. He's here with me this weekend, which means the world to me, and we do everything together. We're brothers, we're teammates, we're best friends, and there's so much that he means to me, and I would truly not be here without him today.
Fernando, you never got to play in your state, like in high school, you never got to go to the state championship. And now with everything that you've accomplished, what's the pride like for you right now?
Yeah, so junior year, COVID cut my season short. We were able to play in the Tri-County Championship. I still view that in my heart as the Florida State Championship, although it wasn't, just because it was 2 great teams and such a great experience with my brothers. However, I was actually able to play a state championship in 10th grade. I didn't play. I was a field goal holder. And when I caught the ball and I held the field goal, there was a guy by the name of Jalen Carter who came up above me, blocked the field goal, and landed on top of me. And luckily, that ended up setting us our 2-point conversion to have the first state title in Christopher Columbus history. But those are both great experiences. I can't really thank Christopher Columbus High School enough for everything they've done for me. And hopefully that I wasn't able to win a championship as starting quarterback in high school. Lucky enough to be a part of the Big Ten championship, and now we're going for it all.
What's set Kirk Signetti apart from other coaches you've had?
I've had a lot of great coaches. I've had a lot of great coaches, and I think they all bring different dynamics. I think the way that Coach Ignetti is able to mesh the team and keep them humble and hungry and push them towards a common goal, whether it's after we win the Big Ten championship game, whether it's after the Oregon game or Penn State game, he's always able to keep us on the attack and with football at the forefront of our mind. Although I'm here this weekend, I'm going to cherish and soak every single moment of this honor. Once Monday rolls around, it's all back on football, and that's something Coach Ignetti has lit a fire under all of us.
How do you sort of balance that of BMA Sports? I think you may have already answered this question. I want to ask it again because I'm just getting here. Was there a specific game or moment when you realized you may have a legitimate chance to become a Heisman Trophy finalist?
That wasn't. That's a great question. I have not been asked that yet. I would say at first it was Illinois. However, like I said, I've said in previous interviews, the Heisman is a team award, and our defense basically shut them out. Our special teams had a block punt for a touchdown. We ran the ball super efficiently. So at that point, I was like, okay, that's great. We beat Illinois by a lot. They're number 9 team in the nation, top 10 team. And then I would say it was really after the Oregon game. It was after the Oregon game that we came back from behind. It was a story. It was drama. And we ended up coming back from behind in Autzen Stadium. Super loud, super electric. Those fans are phenomenal. And ended up leading a game-winning drive to then secure the deal against the number 3 team in the nation.
Fernando, you mentioned Christopher Columbus High School, and you know what a proud community we are and how proud we are of you. Can you say something to Explore Nation?
Yeah, for sure. Explore Nation, I want to thank you guys for letting me into the brotherhood. I would not be here without Christopher Columbus High School right now. It's such a special moment to share with all my explorers across the nation. Thank you guys. Adelante.
Fernando, you are always staying humble. You always credit your teammates when asked about the Heisman. But what are you proud of yourself? What is something you're proud of your accomplishments?
I would say this is in part because of my teammates and because of my coaches, and they've accelerated my development. I think if you watch game 1 to then the Big Ten championship game, I believe my game and my service to my teammates has improved, not only as a player, but also a leader on the sidelines and off the field. And I really credit that to the great teammates and coaches that I've had to be able to pull that from. However, I believe I'm a lot better player and leader than I was week 1 to now week 13.
Fernando, with Jacob Rodriguez finishing 5th, 3 of the final 5 Heisman finalists have Hispanic roots. And how much pride, obviously you have a whole lot of pride in being maybe one of the faces of the Latino community in football, which the NFL is trying to reach out to and such. How much pride do you take in inspiring maybe the next group of Latino men and women in football, whether it be playing or in the media or in general?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say Jacob Rodriguez, that guy's a baller. I had the opportunity to play him back at Cal. He gave me an extremely tough time. He was on my case all day. What a phenomenal player. And also, Diego, Jacob, and myself all being of Hispanic heritage. What a special moment for the Hispanic community. I think it really shows to all the Hispanic kids out there, whether you're Cuban, Mexican, and all whatever Hispanic ethnicity you are, you can make it and you could do it, especially in a community that has not been known a long time for its Hispanic excellence in the sport, other than the great Jim Plunkett, and there's obviously many others that I'm missing. However, I think this is a new age, especially of Hispanic kids coming up about, and I think it's really the village that comes behind all the Hispanic families, as you've seen Diego's support from his family, Jacob's support from his family and his teammates, and I've been lucky enough to be supported by such great teammates and family. It's the culture, it's the pride within that community that is able to uplift us to these great awards and great honors.
You mentioned Jim Plunkett, he won the Heisman as well.
Yeah.
So you seem to have like a deep knowledge of this as well. Was it something you researched? Was it your dad talking about you in terms of Hispanics in football?
It's something that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. It's something I researched. It's something I give credit to my grandparents. My grandparents actually took me to visit Cuba when I was in high school, and to go back to my roots and go back to some cousins that had stayed there, who hadn't immigrated from Cuba to Miami, and it really has given me a whole complete view of what my Hispanic heritage means to myself. And although I didn't grow up in a Hispanic country, Spanish was my first language when I started to grow up and to learn how to talk. And then evidently now I'm an English speaker and conversational in Spanish. But I would say that I really praise my grandparents and my family for showing me the importance of not only giving back to your community, but also it also praising the importance of the Hispanic community and how much it means to them.
Fernando, do you think that the same personality traits, characteristics that made you a good leader, a good quarterback in college would translate to the NFL?
Yeah, you have to ask my teammates if I'm a good leader. I'm not going to sit here and self-proclaim myself.
I'm pretty sure they would say yours.
But, right now I'm really just focused on college. NFL is a whole different level. It's more intricate system. It's a more intricate game. The margins get smaller, the windows get tighter, the players are all across. They're better players, they're older. I mean, these are grown men. These aren't college kids anymore. However, I'm looking forward to the challenge and opportunity ahead with the college football playoff, and hopefully one day, to accomplish my pipe dream of playing in the NFL.
Chandler Whitmer said you guys had some preseason sessions where he went through every throw that you had at Cal. I mean, and talked to you about it. What did he unlock in you, and what came out of that time you had kind of in the preseason where you guys went over all that stuff?
The preseason with Coach Whitmer it was a fantastic time. Not only were we improving on the football IQ side, we're also improving on the mechanics, which I think is really rare in quarterback coaches, just because usually it's one or the other. Usually you go to a private quarterback coach, or you have your school coach, and with Coach Whitmer being both, it's been so key and fundamental to my development. Going through all the different throws, we were able to get on the same page, able to have the same terminology or see what his terminology was for these different concepts. And he was actually able to pull NFL film and previous college film to show, hey, this is what we're going to do in this concept. This is how I want your eyes. And it wasn't so much about the actual throw, it's more about how we saw the game. And I think at that moment, we were really able to connect and see and share each other's viewpoints on how we see the game.
Fernando, why do you believe you should win the Heisman Award tomorrow night?
I'm just honored and blessed to be here. I never thought that I would even make it to this stage, and if I do win, that'd be a great honor and blessing, and mean a lot to a lot of people around myself. However, I'm not going to make a case on why I should win, because I think all the finalists and even everybody in the top 10, including Jacob Rodriguez, I think all those guys deserve the win. I think everyone's had a fantastic season, and I'm going to leave it up to the voters, the Heisman Trust, and to all the great Heisman legends before myself.
A lot of young people. What you'll do with the watch? Is that going to be a family heirloom for you? You've got it sitting there in front of you.
Yeah, no. This watch is fantastic, and it's such a great honor to. It's such a great honor to have, and it's such a great sentimental gift, especially having the finalists watch. And I think we get a plaque too, and like I said, all the finalists here, whether it's Diego, Julian, or Jeremiah, or even Jacob, I think they all deserve to win the trophy. And I think that however it goes tomorrow night, I'm going to be leaving New York City, the Big Apple, with a huge smile on my face, coming home with this fantastic watch that I will be able to keep as a family heirloom. And I think it'll be really cool because it does say Heisman on it, and I think it will represent my time in college, my time, my entire journey, whether it's Christopher Columbus High School, Cal, or Bloomington.
What do you say to young people who've gone through some challenges like you've gone on the field, but here you are ready for the Heisman tomorrow night if you win? How did you get to where you are now from your journey to get to here tomorrow night?
Yeah, the message that I would want to send to any young person out there that is looking and aspiring, having a pipe dream like myself. I always wanted to play college football. I always wanted to start a college game, and now I have the opportunity to be on the Heisman finalist stage. I would say, no matter whoever tells you, you're too raw, you're too short, you're too whatever, that you could do it. You could do it with work ethic, talent, and a great community around you. You could do it, and anything is possible in that sense.
Fernando, if you hear your name called tomorrow night, what would you like to say?
I'm gonna leave that tomorrow night in the speech, but I would like to say a lot of things if I do have the honor of being called up. There's a lot of people that I want to thank. There's a couple messages that I would want to share. And I think it's my responsibility as a Heisman finalist to prepare a speech, whether it goes my way or goes another finalist's way, which I'd be happy with both, because I think, like I said, I think everybody, all the finalists, are deserving of this award.
You've been raising money for MS throughout your collegiate career, and Indiana fans have made a real push the last week to kind of get that amount up. What's been your kind of reaction to them really pushing to make that almost doubled it in the last week?
it's been heartwarming. Some of my teammates have seen, some of my family has really seen and appreciated. To know the fight that my mom, she's my light, she's my why, she's my everything. To see what she goes through and how optimistic she is through it all. And at the same time, my mom doesn't want anybody feeling sorry for her because she's a warrior and she is passionate. However, to raise that money for people, in need, I believe it's my platform. And the reason that God put me here, I believe it's my platform to help others and help the community. And that is, a cause that really strikes deep in my heart. And that's my goal. That's my goal. Whether it's the city of Bloomington and Hoosier fans, I can't thank enough for all their donations. Whether it's nationwide donations, whether it's my contributions or my teammates' contributions to that cause, that's something that I feel deeply rooted in and something that I want to support the rest of my.
After meeting with the media, all of the finalists got on stage, got to touch the Heisman Trophy, but only one of them is going to be able to hold that up over their head come Saturday evening. So they're going to continue their festivities throughout the weekend, and then of course the Heisman announcement will be made on 8 o'clock Saturday night. Leading up to that, you can follow us along over the air on Channel 13 as well as right here on WTHR+. That's going to do it from the Big Apple in New York City. I'm Eli Gehn. Have a good day.